Well, well, well. If it isn't who it is, welcome back to another Mr. Sour Motorsports special. Thank you for tuning in again. You can't afford a new car, and I'm so sorry to tell you that, but I'm really not, and we're going to get into that. I think people should probably understand right off the bat, right? Affording it does not mean just making the monthly fucking payments. There is more to affording a debt that you take on in your life than just meeting that monthly payment obligation, which so many dealerships are going to convince you is all you need to worry about when you are considering a car, right? So right off the top, the average household income is $84,000 a year in the US, and the average car note for someone having a brand new car payment is $770 a month. That is crazy, right? And then you're also talking, you're having to pay extra insurance for that new car. Running costs are probably not cheaper, although who knows? I've never had a new car, so maybe I'm not the person to ask about this. But you're spending like, I don't know, if we were going to be generous to people, let's say something like $800 or $900 a month after everything, just looking at the car note and not worrying about your depreciation, right? That's a lot. When the average person is probably making, I don't know, if we're thinking about the income somewhere around $30 an hour, if that's household income, and I guess, if you're single, more power to you if you're making more than that. But if somebody is making an average income and they're paying that car note, it is taking away a lot from their life. So there's more to this. I just want to get it out of the way. Like, obviously the money is a problem and people need a lot better financial guidance and what they can and can't actually afford and what that is costing them. But we're going to talk more about what you really can't afford, and that's like the opportunity cost of where that money and time is being taken away from you. So you are in this average position potentially, and maybe you have a car note like that, and it is a significant amount of your life is going towards that. At least, something like, I don't know, what, 20 plus, 30 plus hours a week at some of the numbers I threw out earlier are going towards paying that, and you're already paying taxes on your income. And then you're paying taxes when you buy the car, and that tax, it just never stops. And where is this money going? You're working, you're spending your energy, your time, your life is being wasted to pay for this vehicle payment. So it really better be bringing a lot to your life to be worth taking something like up to 20% of your take-home pay is what apparently people are okay with these days. I don't even think you should be spending that much on the hobby. If you're a full-on enthusiast, 20% of your take-home pay would be a crazy amount to be spending on this. But I digress, right? If you're spending that much of your time to make the money to pay for the car, you are effectively trading chunks of your life for something that's going to depreciate and be in traffic and be used to get back and forth to work and run errands and get dings and dents. And that could be fulfilled with an older car. You don't need to buy the new car. Just get a first generation or second generation Honda Fit. I'm serious. I'm so serious that I've had to help people get out of their new cars to get into older used Fits because it made so much more sense from them when we actually look down and look at the numbers and what that new car was really costing them and what it was bringing to their life. So just go buy an older car that fits your needs and still covers your reliability, safety, efficiency needs, right? Because that new car is not really worth all of that time you're trading away for a depreciating asset. Even if you're an enthusiast, you really need to be careful about where you put your money, because money is just that physical representation of time that you've already traded away and you're never going to get back. So is it really worth it to spend it on everyday traffic that most people are buying from a dealership at, pretty effed up prices? And, there's another facet here that I just have to go off about. And you cannot let someone with a profit incentive that's bringing nothing to the deal make money off of you. It is just wrong. Car salespeople are pretty much, I'm gonna categorically say they're scumbags. You cannot be enabling from the bottom of the chain, from that dealer, that dealership sales employee, all the way up to the person that owns it, and then to the companies they're working with and the lobbyists that insist we need dealerships and middlemen. You can't be enabling that and be, it's not good. You're sponsoring bad consumer practices and things that are bad for everybody when you go buy some crap consumable new overpriced car at a bad loan just because you got excited and you felt like you needed a little treat. Sorry, that was maybe a little on the nose there, but you can't trust the dealership and you can't trust people that have a profit incentive. You have to make sure that how you have to know how much they're making a profit off you. You should have a very clear idea of that, and you should be able to say that that profit they're making and the amount of life that you're giving to them effectively in that form of money, that it's worth it to you. And that car is going to bring enough joy and satisfaction and enough, meaning that it's worth it. If you can make that determination, I guess more power to you. But I feel like most people are not thinking that critically, and they're just like, I want a new car. I'm scared of an old car. I don't know anything. And they trust the dealership. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, you are prey for them. You cannot trust anybody at the dealership if you're not an expert in this field, which even I'm not at all. If you're not an expert in this field, don't go in there, because they will find a way to work you and scam you and take as much money out of your pocket as possible. And there's nothing, they do not care about your well-being or satisfaction or anything. They just care about that commission or meeting that minimum sales target to get their bonus or whatever they need, right? They do not care about you. And that is obviously clear. And, new cars blowing up, 20, 30,000 miles, needing motors, not being able to get parts, on and on and on. I'm not actually in the industry, so I guess I shouldn't go that deep into it, but you have to know you can't trust the dealership. They're going to try and make as much money off you as possible. That money is your life and your time in a physical form, and is it really worth it to you to buy that new car? Because, people don't care what you drive. If I see a G-Wagon or an S-Class or a Lambo or anything, I probably don't even look, because it's not something that somebody, I think, has put a lot of energy into, other than purchasing the vehicle, I guess. And, nobody cares. You disappear. And like, are you really thinking it's important for you to go finance or get any like everyday traffic at these crazy expensive costs in terms of both literal monetary costs and what it takes away from your life? Is it worth it for strangers not even noticing you? And it's not going to make a difference in your life, and nobody's going to respect you or care more because of what you drive. In fact, I do think people are going to think you're more interesting if you pull up in a fucking clapper that you fix yourself or whatever, or just a cheap car, and you tell them about how to save money and how much freedom it brings you. You're more interesting than that new car person, because you don't accomplish anything when you go and you sign that paperwork, or if you just buy a car that's as it comes from the dealer, you've done nothing. You better go do something cool with it, and maybe go race it or build something, I guess, if you're going to destroy the value of the vehicle, because then you can earn some respect for it. But just owning the car itself, I'm sorry, but I don't care, and I don't think that really anybody else should. And that goes all the way from somebody going and getting, a brand new $30,000 Corolla up to a hypercar. Like, it just doesn't matter until you do something that is meaningful with it, that you can show me why that purchase matters. So buying the car doesn't bring you anything inherently. You're enabling bad consumer practices in the dealership supply chain and automotive manufacturing industry. You're probably taking away a huge chunk of your life. And like, where does it make sense until you actually be like, yeah, I want to spend $770 a month as an average American on something that's probably not even going to be on the road in 10 years. It's not going to be a long-term investment in any form. That money should be going to, college funds for your kids. It should be going for investments. It should be going towards retiring early. Like, instead of buying that new car, think about how much 30 or 40 grand, invested over a couple of years extra into your retirement account or your mortgage. You're going to pay your house off earlier, or you're going to retire earlier by the time that compounds. So there's so many other things that are worth it more than just like satisfying that itch to have something new and shiny, because by the time it sets in and you're driving that car and you're just sitting in traffic and you're just using it for point A to B, just like a Honda Fit or an Integra or any cool car could possibly do, like, is it really worth it? Probably not. Could you afford it monthly? Sure. And I'm sure people are going to argue about that, but can you afford it for what it costs to your soul, to your mind, to your spirit, to your family, to your livelihood, your health? I don't think you can. So that's a message to you. Don't go buy the new car. It's not worth it. And I want to hear your thoughts. Thanks everybody for engaging in the last video. It was a lot of fun arguing with a bunch of people in the comments, and I'm down to do it again. So thanks for coming. Check them out in the comments. Check out, my Instagram. Check out whatever you want, and peace.